Hello everyone, in this video we want to talk about histogram, and we want to use a data analysis add-ins in the Excel to generate a report for a histogram. So if you go to your data tab, you can see a data analysis here, and if you cannot see this toolbox here, you should go to the file options in the add-ins, press on the go button and checkbox these two, and then press the OK button, and then you should see data analysis add-ins here. So we want to use data analysis add-ins histogram to see the distribution of our data in the cells. So before that, if you go to the insert tab, you can see you have a histogram charts here, and if you press on this chart, you can see it will generate a chart for you, a histogram chart for you. So when you see this chart, you may ask yourself why we should use data analysis toolbox, because the data analysis toolbox here in the data analysis tab will generate a new report for us, and will generate a new tab with the bins and with the frequency and with the cumulative percentage. So this is a very useful thing to have. As you can see, many times if you want to see your distribution of your data, you can see it's not well designed. As you can see here, there are a lot of data in my first bin, and there is also nothing in these end bins. This is because the outliers are the data points that are occurred with the very low frequency. So for example, there is a 1 or 2 data here. To showing these just to 1 or 2 data, the Excel needs to generate these whole bins, these whole unnecessary bins. So how we can have well defined histogram? For doing that, we should remove the outlier data. So how we can remove the outlier data? We can use a percentile function. We want to say that if the data is more than 75 percentile, or if it's less than 25 percentile, then this data point is a outlier point, and I want to remove that. So for calculating the outlier, I have to use the percentile function, and I need to select my array, calculate the 75 percentile of these data. So if I use this function, I can see if a data is more than this number is outlier. Also, if a data, let me put that here, and also I want to say that if the data is less than 25 percentile, I need to select my range and calculate the 25 percentile. I want to say that if my data point is less than this number, then this data is an outlier data. So I just need to use a simple if function. If this data is more than this one, then this is an outlier. And also if this data is less than the 25 percentile, then this data point is outlier. And otherwise, this is my data and I want to show my data, I want to have my data, so I just select the F2 cell, and then I need to close my parentheses, and I see the first one is outlier. So for seeing the other data to be outlier or not, I need to absolute the H2 and absolute the I2 cells, and then I just need to double click on this cell to calculate which one is outlier or which one is my in the quartile box. So we call these data which are not my outlier in the quartile data. So they are in my 27 until 75 percentile range. So I want to remove this outlier, so I need to create a new sheet until the in quartile data here. I just need to come back here. I need to copy this data I just copy and then paste these as values to remove the formula, and then I copy it again and then paste it here, and then I say the sales data, for example. So how I can remove that? I just need to set the filter on that, and then choosing the outlier on select all, and then select outliers, and then select the first row by using Ctrl Shift down in your keyboard. At the same time, select all these rows and then right click on it and then press on the delete row. So by this way I remove my outlier data, and if I clear the filter, I just have in my quartile data. So I do not need this filter anymore, so I off this filter, and now I have my data. And if I select my data and then insert the histogram chart, I can see I have much more better histogram chart. So this is how I can have by this way I can see a better distribution of my data. So right now I want to use data analysis add-ins to have the histogram chart or report too. So I just select the data analysis, and then I go and select the histogram, and then I press the OK button. In the input range, I need to select A2 until the end of my data, which is A4202. If you define your bin range, you can select your bin range here, but in the most cases, the calculating the bins are a little bit difficult. So I want Excel to calculate the bins. So I left this as a blank. If you select the A1 cell as well, which is the sales data, label data, you have to checkbox the labels. But right now I just selected from A2, so I do not need to checkbox this one. And then I need to tell where I want to have my report in this sheet with the defined range, or in the new worksheet with the name, for example, histogram, or in the new workbook. So I just want to have it in the new sheet. And then I need to define which analysis I want. I just want the cumulative percentage and the chart. I will talk about the Pareto soon. So after I press the OK button, I can see it generate a table for me, which is defined in the first column with the bin, and in the second column it calculates the frequencies in each bin, and then it calculates the cumulative percentage, and also it's showing a chart for me. And I can see it's very well defined histogram. And also I can do more on my table, more on my data. So for example, I want to remove the decimals number in this bin. I just need simply select my bins and then remove the decimal numbers. Or I can do another statistical things. And the other thing is the Pareto. So for example, if you go to the data analysis tab, for example in my quartile, if I go to data analysis and then select the histogram, I still have my range, and I need to change my new worksheet, for example, to Pareto, and then I checkbox the Pareto analysis. In this analyze, Excel table will have our previous data or previous bin, frequency, and cumulative percentage, as well as the sorted bin. So the bins with the more frequency will be in the first, until the bins with the less frequency. So it's a sorted table in this part of the table, and then it calculates the cumulative percentage based on these numbers. And also my histogram will be based on the sorted values. So in this way I can do the Pareto analysis. I can tell the 80% of my cells are in the range, for example here, this one, are between 3,300 are between 3,000 to 25,000. So the customers, 80% of the customers comes in my store will bought around 3,000 to 25,000. So if you set a lines in this chart, for example, you can see in the 80% we have the being at the $25,000. So it's saying that the 80% of my orders are between $3,000 to $25,000. So I can plan on this. I can plan for the future sales or for my production or something like that. So this is how we can have the histogram and the Pareto analyze in the Excel with the data analysis add-ins. Thanks for watching. Until next, goodbye. In order to watch more training videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diaco Ltd. And if you want to see our products, please visit our website, diaco.co.uk.